I always knew there was something wrong with her. But when your grandmother lives in a remote village, oddities become normal. Talking to cats, whispering something before bed, leaving pieces of bread on the windowsill for those who pass by. So what? A grandmother is a grandmother. But this evening she called me Vovochka. Her voice was barely audible, as if from the other end of the earth. Take me away, dear. Grandma, what are you talking about? Take me from the cemetery. I froze. What? Hurry, it's getting dark. I can't stay here. And then, dial tone. Grandmother died 3 years ago. I was shaking as I drove down the broken country road. Stupid, I know. Maybe someone decided to play a joke? But the voice, it was too real. When I arrived at the old cemetery on the outskirts of the village, it was already getting dark. Fog swirled over the gravestones, getting caught between thin trees. She was standing by her grave, alive. I couldn't breathe. She was wearing the same clothes we buried her in. Black dress, gray headscarf. Her eyes gleamed in the headlights. She was smiling. Grandma, I swallowed. Is that you? Who else would it be, grandson? She laughed fondly. You buried me yourself. This wasn't a joke. You're... I'm cold here, Vovochka. Let's go home. Her voice, warm, familiar. She even shook her head, like she always did when she was angry. I should have run. I should have closed the car door, turned around, and burned this forest to hell. But I just silently opened the door. Grandmother slowly sat in the front seat. She smelled of damp earth. I drove her down the narrow road. She sat quietly, looking out the window. It's nice here, she suddenly said. What, Grandma? It's nice here, she repeated. But her voice wasn't hers. From the corner of my eye, I saw her turn her head. She wasn't blinking. I pressed the gas. And my grave. Is it nice? She asked. Well, what? Well kept? Haven't forgotten me? I couldn't answer. Because my grandmother was smiling. Number. She was stretching her lips to her ears, as if learning to smile again. I almost flew off the road. We reached her house. I didn't want to go in, but grandmother was already opening the door. Come in, Vovochka, she said, with her head. Just not like that. She didn't turn the handle. She leaned toward the door and started hitting it with her forehead. 1, 2, 3, click, and the door opened. She straightened up, as if nothing had happened. Why are you frozen? Come in. I entered. The house hadn't changed. Same table, same lamp, everything in its place, as if she had never died. Grandmother went to the stove. Want some tea? Grandma. She slowly turned her head, 180 degrees. What, grandson? I backed away. She started smiling, and suddenly stepped toward me, but not with her feet. She stepped with her whole body, as if pushed forward by some invisible wind. I rushed to the door. Vovochka! Her voice came from all directions at once. You brought me here yourself. You won't leave, grandmother, will you? I slammed the door and ran to the car. But the light was already on in the house window, and she was standing there, smiling and waving to me. I don't know who I brought back that night, but in the morning, her house was standing in the village again, the one they demolished 3 years ago. And light was burning in the window, and it smelled of tea.